right, it's that time. It's time for some Risk. Me and Nelson are here. We're waiting for 4 more people. We're doing the castle map. This is another one I haven't done before. I'm guessing Nelson probably has because he plays Risk all the time. But you can see the game ID if you're not friends with me. Just enter in the game ID NAFZ4. And the first 4 people to get in will get to play. We'll do at least 2 rounds. I think this first one will probably go pretty fast because it's a small map with not a lot of territories. So we're going to do manual placement. Everybody will get to pick their territories at the beginning of this one. So we'll just wait a few minutes. Usually takes a few minutes to get going. If you have the game, it's free. If you don't, you can install it, and you could probably have it installed in time to join us for the next match. Niall, what's up? You going to play today? We got room for 4 more. Stonewall, what's going on? Hanging out in my new spot here in my basement. Man, I got so many things I got to get caught up on with the channel this week. I want to get out the next round of voting for the history movie, like the war movie poll that we've been doing. We're down to 32 now. We got to do another round of voting to get that down to 16. So I'm going to try to get that out to you in the next day or two. We're going to be doing the Hamilton history chat live stream on the other channel probably tomorrow, I'm hoping. Hey, there's Niall. And we got to get caught up on the series that I've been working on. So, Hanson right now, the only other model I have, I had a Titanic model, but I think it's still at my grandparents' house. I've got an Arizona, USS Arizona model that I haven't finished yet. I've got it sitting right here, actually. I think this one's, let me see what the scale is on that one. That's a 1:426 scale. I probably bought that 20 years ago. I painted it and then never put it together. So I've got to do that. We've been trying to find a USS Wyoming. There doesn't seem to be a traditional model for the Wyoming. JD, what's up? We got room for 3 more. Oh, Nelson was in the game before I even started the stream. When I created the game 10 minutes ago, he was there right away. You can always count on Nelson for that. And I didn't even have to sing Rule Britannia to get him here. Hey, so if you haven't had a chance, make sure you guys check out the latest installment of the Taskmaster Challenge. It looks like I haven't had a chance to watch the other 2 videos yet, but I did get to see. We were out. We had to go sign papers today to sell our old house. Praise God, we're so glad that's done with. Because we moved 2.5 years ago and we just finally sold the house. But we were signing those papers, and that was scheduled for noon, so I couldn't be on with the premiere today for the video for the Taskmaster Challenge. But I did get a chance after it was over to watch a little bit of Stealth 17's video. And it looks like he and I both tied with 100 points because he got a 10-point bonus for being $10 million under budget. But lost one of his ships, and so that equaled out because we both sank everything. But I think I read Brother Monroe say that he had something like 127. So while Stealth and I tied, I don't think we won that one today. But I'll have to go watch Every Day's Different and Brother Monroe to see how they did on that. Niall, I'm doing well. How about yourself? Building a Stuka in 148. That's very cool. Oh, yeah, I think I did see those, JD. So we got room for 2 more. $15 people in the chat now. Make sure you hit that like button. We've got 2 likes so far. Sniper Killer. So what we're doing on this one is we usually, typically for the first one, when we do these live streams, we usually try to do 2 battles. The first one's usually one of the free maps of the week, whatever it might be. There's 2 of them this week. We've done the China map before. We haven't done this one. This one's a castle map. After this, we will do a historic, like a regular Risk map with the traditional board. Roma, thank you. I appreciate that. Can outspend me in War Thunder? Pavel, what's going on? Commander Thorn, hello. We're just getting ready to get started here. We've got five. We got room for one more in this one. Oh, we had five. There we go. Sniper killer. All right, cool. So this will be and I always, speaking of the rules, always do um, fixed cards values because I hate progressive cards where the longer you wait to turn in your cards, the more armies you get for it. I just don't like that. I think that takes too much of the strategy out of it. Um, but we are doing manual placement of armies. So, okay, we've got six. I'm going to give a second here because I want to make sure you guys all get a chance to hear me say this. Make sure you hit ready when I start the game because if you don't hit ready, it'll replace you with a computer opponent. We don't want that. So we've got our six. And I'm going to go ahead and start it here. And I'm going to type hit ready as well so everybody knows. But here we go. Hey, Commander Thorn, you have nothing to be sorry for. I think everybody, definitely myself included, completely understood. Completely understand why you had to leave that. That's cool. Margarita Peggy Schuyler. Hey, did you know that Peggy, and I'm going to talk about this in my Hamilton history stream on my other channel, Peggy was married to one of the richest people of all time. Her husband was equivalent to to be like equivalent to Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos today in terms of his finances. So nobody remembers Peggy that much because of her two more famous siblings, but she married really well. She also died right around the same time that Alexander Hamilton died, that their father died, that Hamilton's son died. So here we go. Oh, I get to be third. Nelson's fifth. Oh boy, decisions here. Yeah, wow. So this is my first time doing this map, so it's always interesting trying out a new map when you don't really quite know what you're getting yourself into yet. Oh, Sniper Killer wants to die fast by parking himself right next to two other people. Nelson got a continent to himself. So did Niall. Good for you guys. Every libertarian's least favorite founding father. Yeah, Devontae, that's fair. And I tend to lean libertarian myself, but I also recognize the importance of the things that Hamilton did. We would not be the wealthy country that we are today were it not for the things that Hamilton put in place. I believe Hamilton was probably the most brilliant of the founding fathers. I think probably one of the most brilliant people we've ever had in government. And as is typically the case with brilliant people, he also had some glaring blind spots in his character. That's not uncommon. That's not an unusual thing for brilliant people to tend to have kind of poor judgment at times. And that was certainly the case with Hamilton. But we'll talk about all of that. I'm excited to do this live stream. I'm just trying to figure out when I'm going to do it. He cheated on his wife. He did. But you know what? So did Aaron Burr. Nobody talks about that. Aaron Burr had several children with an African woman while he was still married to his wife Theodosia. and they never once mentioned that in the musical. In fact, Burr had several illegitimate children through his affair before Hamilton ever had his affair. Yeah, Devontae's got a point. It's probably not as uncommon as people think. Yeah, most of the people, in fact, anybody who's a descendant of Aaron Burr, who has the last name Burr today, are descended through his relationship with, I forget her name. And I said African, but I didn't say slave because I can't remember if she was still a slave when Burr. But it's kind of ironic that Aaron Burr is played by a black man in a duel, um, because most of his descendants are black. So that's kind of awesome, actually. Yeah, Devontae, that's accurate. And most black people in America today probably have at least a portion of white ancestry, and most white people from the South probably have a little bit of black ancestry. Um, I'm about 8% African, sub-Saharan African, mostly from I'm trying to remember what nations. Aaron Burr was the third vice president of the United States. Should be just about done here. I don't know. Oh, we got, what, about 3 left? Of course, Aaron Burr's father was one of the founders of Princeton University. Yeah, Burr's son, his name was John Pierre Burr. And a girl named Louisa Charlotte was his daughter. They were with a woman of color named Mary Emmons, who came from India and had worked as a servant in the Burr's home. So she was not a slave, but she worked as a servant. She came from India, but she was not of Indian descent. She was of African descent. No, that's true, Stonewall. Vice presidents very rarely get remembered. In fact, a lot of people wouldn't be able to name some vice presidents. We had a vice president who was a Rockefeller once. Trying to remember who was he. I want to say he was Nixon's vice president, Nelson Rockefeller. Yeah, he was vice president for Nixon. Or no, for Gerald Ford. That's right. Okay. All right, what do we do here? If I had to go back in time or go further, what year would I go to? Oh, wow. Hmm. Wow. I'd have to think about that one. I'd probably go back to somewhere in the Middle Ages, maybe around the time of the Wars of the Roses. I think that would have been a fascinating time. Or go back to 1888 and solve the Jack the Ripper case finally. My favorite president? That's tough. I'm a huge fan of Abraham Lincoln, but I also don't have the same idealized viewpoint of him that other people did. I think Abraham Lincoln was probably one of the best politicians who's ever been president. The guy was a brilliant politician. He knew how to get things done. He knew how to get people on his side to do things. But he also definitely severely bent, if not broke, the law to get some of those things done. So he was far from Honest Abe that everyone remembers him as. A legionnaire in the Roman legions, cool. Well, let's see. Who's sniper? Well, Schnitzel. Hey, I have no intention of going after you here, so let's have a nice truce here, shall we? While you go after targets in other places. Is this Niall here? The Soberfly. Okay. Where's Niall? Is Niall not in here? Oh, there he is. Yellow. JFK, yeah, I agree. JFK definitely had the potential to be a great president. I give him oh, wow. Well, Soberfly just took themselves and Schnitzel out of this game. Never a good idea to make an attack like that this early. All you do is make sure that yourself and whoever you attack can't win. President Whitmore from Independence Day. Yes. All right, so now we got somebody else. Well, we don't have a truce anymore because you're not there anymore. Okay. And unfortunately, that's what I've got to do is I've got to go right here. I'm blue. Oh, you're talking to Niall. I got you. Grand Tactician, August 21st. They just announced the release date. Crazy excited about that one. Oh my goodness. The only problem is going to be that I typically travel for work in the fall, though I expect I won't be traveling nearly as much this fall as I typically I'm on the road 5 or 6 days a week in the fall, which means I'm not at my desktop computer and I can't really run too many games on my laptop. So, I guess that means I'll probably have more time to play Grand Tactician. And then on September 1st, Crusader Kings 3 comes out. Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts is going to be released probably in early August on Steam. So it's going to be a crazy month or so ahead of really good games coming out. But Grand Tactician, I haven't been this excited about a game in quite a while. That and the campaign, whenever we get it for Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, are the two things I'm probably most looking forward to. I have seen the trailer for War on the Seas. There's some good games coming down the road, especially with Microprose being back. Well, Zachary, the truce involved territory right here that he no longer controls, and so the whole point of the truce was for us to not attack each other right here, but then he proceeded to get attacked right there, so that completely removed the whole point of the truce. Do I watch sports? Absolutely. I love sports. I pretty much watch every sport there is and have favorite teams in all of them. Right now on my mind is soccer, and I'm a West Bromwich Albion fan. And if they win tomorrow, they're back in the Premier League. So I'm very excited about that. A little nervous about it too. Zachary, I would love to. I hope I get the chance to do that. Stonewall, I agree. I think Grand Tactician is going to be better than Ultimate General Civil War and Civil War 2. I think it's going to have kind of the best elements of all of those. But we'll see. And I'm hoping I get my hands on it early. I know I'm going to get a copy of the game when it's released, but I don't know if that'll be that day or if they'll get it to us before that. I'm hoping it'll be before that. Do I like the Browns? Yes, I do. But I'm married to a Steelers fan. You see, where I live, I'm an hour from Cleveland and I'm an hour from Pittsburgh. So we are smack in the middle, exactly on the halfway point. In fact, they call it the I-76 rivalry because Interstate 76 runs between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. And or the Turnpike rivalry, I guess they call it, because the Pennsylvania Turnpike and the Ohio Turnpike run right along there, and the Turnpike goes within about 300 feet of my house, so I'm right on the line between those two. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on. He doesn't have any cards. Oh, he already turned in cards. How's that even possible? No, he didn't turn in cards. He's just all in one place. That's all. Okay. What map is this? I think it's called Castle. Is the name of the map? Have I been to U.S.? No, I haven't been to the U.S. men's national team in Columbus, but I've been to quite a few Columbus Crew games. Morgan Freeman from the Fallen trilogy as president. Hey, Morgan Freeman's always a great idea. Favorite team's the Texans. Stonewall, good team, good team. Zach Mills, welcome. How you doing today, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying cool down there in Texas. Commander Thorne, I think we're talking about all of them. Zachary, just watch my videos if you get a chance on Fredericksburg. There's a couple of videos that'll show you some good strategies on winning as the Union in that battle. Do I like the Vikings? No, Zachary. I mean, I don't dislike the Vikings. We have a former Viking quarterback as our backup quarterback in Cleveland now. But I've got some friends who are big Viking fans. Hey, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate that. So it looks like things are all pretty even at the moment. I think there must be some kind of truce going on here because I'm not entirely sure why Niall hasn't attacked purple right here yet. That'd be a really easy place to get cards, but he's not getting any cards. He's just kind of sitting tight, which eventually is going to hurt you, Niall, if you don't go after some territory at some point. If Green's smart, that's what he'd do. He'd go after this one, at least get that card. But I guess he's not going to. Who's my favorite Hamilton character? Ooh. Wow. My daughter loves John Lawrence. I'd have to say Alexander Hamilton, but I also love the Burr character. I don't like Aaron Burr, the real guy. Niall, thank you. I'm glad you like the new channel. But yeah, I don't like Burr the person, but I think especially Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr was just fantastic. The best worst president of the U.S. Wow. I think Warren Harding was a pretty terrible president. James Buchanan might be the worst of all, though. He was pretty terrible. We had a number of pretty subpar presidents in the years leading up to the Civil War. All right. Do I have the chance to turn in cards? No, I do not. Let's see. It's interesting. Green, by not going after territories, he's kind of removing the incentive for somebody to take him out, which is kind of an interesting strategy. I have no intention of attacking right here. I'm just making sure that I deter you from doing so. Andrew Johnson, yeah, okay. Stonewall, good point. Andrew Johnson, terrible president. Absolutely terrible. Andrew Johnson might be the single person most responsible for um, setting our nation up for the struggles that African Americans faced for generations after the Civil War. Zach, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I have Hanson. I have seen that trailer. Oh man, this is interesting. I didn't know how this map would go because it's so small. I wasn't sure if it would go fast or go slower, but I can see how it might go slow because people are just kind of storing things up and not really doing a whole lot of attacking. Niall's just been chilling and just building a massive army that at some point is going to probably march through on somebody. Yeah, Stonewall, Andrew Johnson. I think I don't think people realize how devastating to the future of our country Abraham Lincoln's assassination was. Um, that single death might be second only to Archduke Franz Ferdinand in terms of the effect that it had on history. Um, just devastating how different the direction of our country was because of that. Pablo, I've seen a few of the clips of Greyhound and it looks fantastic. I can't wait to watch the whole thing. Um, I saw another question somebody posted, and I'm trying to catch up with what it was. Favorite state? Ooh, big fan of Alaska. I've only been there once. My brother lives in Anchorage, but Alaska's beautiful. It's really cool. Montana's gorgeous. Um, I like visiting North Carolina. The people in North Carolina are really cool, really nice. Um, yeah, but my favorite state would probably have to be Kentucky. That's where most of my family comes from. Um, so I think, yeah, that's probably the case. How does the card system work? Sniper Killer. Um, you can see here, four guards give you four, four or six or four or three guards give you four, three centaurs give you six, three cannons give you eight, one of each gives you 10, which is like what I have right here, one of each, and you trade them in during your deployment phase. Which I will do now. Hmm. Sorry, Schnitzel. No, I don't think I'll go after Niall. Uh-oh, what happened? This isn't good. It's not letting me do anything here, folks. Oh man, and now I can't. There we go. Fortify, come on. Well, this is gonna screw me up for this game if I can't fortify back. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I'm screwed. Well, that kind of stinks. I had to, yeah, Rayward. I let it time out, but the problem is I couldn't move. I couldn't fortify my armies back. I wonder if anybody else is having that trouble. Okay, I see. Oh no. Yeah, Zach, I agree. Eventually, the Confederates would have had to have outlawed slavery. All right, at least things are happening. Who's my favorite Skylar sister? Angelica. Big fan of Angelica. Schnitzel got his revenge. That's funny. Yeah, but Stonewall, what they could have done, what I guess the South probably would have done, is they probably would have had to announce some kind of a gradual emancipation, like, over the next 10 years or 15 years, we're going to slowly, to give themselves time for the transition of the economy. That's really what the U.S. should have done back in like the 1920s or the 1820s, I should say, or even after the Revolutionary War. They should have put some kind of plan in place, but they couldn't, because I think there were a lot of people in the South who opposed slavery but didn't really have any solution for how to get themselves out of the dependence on that for the economy. Zachary, if I get the chance sometime, I've got so much to get caught up on right now that I don't have a lot of extra time to play games other than when I'm making videos. Pavel, have fun with that. Good luck. Oh, here goes Niall. Oh, I thought he was going to attack there. Who's he going to go for? He's toying with you guys. He's like, ooh, maybe I'll go there. Oh, maybe I'll go there. And then he's going nowhere. Maybe he just can't decide. Um, yeah, Lee was personally opposed to slavery. Um, Thomas Jefferson was, but they both owned slaves. Um, so part of the catch was just the utter dependence on slavery for the Southern economy. Um, so that even people who said that they were morally opposed to slavery, um, and Stonewall Lee would have joined the Union if Virginia had stayed in the Union, and they might have, because they were one of the last states to secede. Niall, what are you doing, buddy? There he goes. Wow. Oh, Julie, I'm sorry to hear about your measuring tape. F in the chat for your measuring tape. Yeah, Lee with the Union. I agree. Rayward would have been a short war. That That decision cost hundreds of thousands of lives. Oh, it's my turn. Hey, look at that. Do I get to trade in? I do. Okay, decisions here. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What is going on with the game for me? I have never had Risk do this to me before. I'm completely unable to place my armies. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try to get out of the game and go back into it like this. Oh, boy. Well, this really stinks. I can't place my reinforcements. Zachary, Gettysburg never would have happened. If Lee had been on the Union side. Well, I guess I am going to have 16 armies that I can't do anything with. Man, this stinks because I felt pretty good about this game, the way things were going. I've got 16 armies stuck down here. I got 16 more that I can't place on the board. Wow. I've been reduced to a defensive minefield. That's about it. So it just placed my armies for me all over the board. Oh, interesting. I wonder if I'm ever going to be able to take a turn again. I might just have to surrender on this one and watch it. Let's see if I can drop out. If I drop out without surrendering, can I do that? So it's going to look weird on the board here for a minute, guys, while I reopen the game. Hopefully that'll solve my problem. All right, let's see what happens. Now that my reinforcements are all over the place. Any one of our Civil War generals could be Napoleon in his day. You know, it's so hard to compare. Could beat Napoleon. It's so hard to compare different eras and different situations. But yeah, I think some of the U.S. generals, or some of the generals in the United States during the Civil War, could have stood up to Napoleon. So, Sniper Killer, is your turn done, or the same thing happened to you? Hmm. Now what's going on? Don't tell me it's my game again that's messed up. Nelson's offline? What's going on with Nelson? Are you there, Nelson? I'm desynced again? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No, I don't want to surrender. I don't know what's going on my end with this game right now. Never had this problem before. Now it doesn't appear to be letting me back into the game. It's got a quit game option. Am I out permanently? Is that what happened here? I guess I'm out. And I can't even go back in and see the game, can I? Wonder if I can still enter the game ID and get back into it that way. Ah. Sorry, guys. I don't know what to do here. I can't even get back in to show you guys. Well, it worked the first time. It let me back in. But it's not going to let me back in again. War Thunder, he says. I could make a new game, but then we could have the same problem again, and you guys won't get to finish the one you're in. But yeah, I'll go ahead and make a new one. We'll see what happens. Let's do it on the classic one, though. And we'll do manual placement off so we can get it going faster. Yeah, well, that's a first time for everything, I guess. Man, I felt good about my chances on that one, too. I wouldn't go far as to say that I would have won, but I think I would have been. I think I was in pretty good shape. So this one's 8N9EF is the game ID. Uh-oh, Soberfly's got your color, Nelson. Astros are playing right now. Altuve got hit by a pitch despite full bases. Wow. Stonewall, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. Probably my single favorite person from the Civil War. Fascinating guy. Nelson doesn't know what to do with himself not being red. That's why he keeps switching through the colors, hoping that Soberfly will change his. All right, we got room for two more. I won because everybody else left and I couldn't leave. Yeah, Chamberlain was also he was governor of Maine and then and also president of Bowdoin College, which is where he had worked. They hit another guy. Well, it is preseason, so they don't care. They're trying to get the hits in when they don't count. Zachary, I agree. The first Minnesota absolutely should have been in the movie. The only reason I can see for not doing that is that there was no point of view character in that scene. Because it was based on the book The Killer Angels that had point of view characters. And so everything you see in the movie is seen through their point of view. So, for example, the only reason you see the events of Pickett's charge on the Union side, for example, with Hancock being wounded is that you're seeing that through Chamberlain's point of view. So you wouldn't have seen the events on Cemetery Ridge on July 2nd because there was no point of view for that. So, yeah, we don't really get to see much of the peach orchard. We don't see Dan Sickles getting wounded and all of that. There's so much of the story of Gettysburg that didn't get told in that movie. My AI is now killing all. Nice. All right, we got room for two more. I don't know how I feel about a purple Nelson. Oh no! Now we have a yellow Nelson, an orange Nelson, a purple Nelson. Hey Dylan, how's it going? Good to see you again. I wonder if it'll credit me for that win, Rayward. I don't know how that works. Gods and Generals, I like the battle scenes. The dialogue pretty much ruins that movie for me. The scenes with the civilians in Fredericksburg, oh, I have a hard time getting through that. And trust me, nobody wanted to like Gods and Generals more than I did. But I really struggle with that. I do. Luciano, how's it going? I'll tell you one thing I really like, and I know it's completely not historical at all. In Gods and Generals, I love um, Chamberlain quoting, and I don't even remember what it's from that he's quoting, but when they're marching up Marie's Heights into that terrible attack, when he does that whole quote from, it might even be from Julius Caesar that he's quoting, where he gets it and it builds up to where he says, "Hail Caesar, we who are about to die salute you." Oh my gosh, I love that part, and I love being able to see that attack on Marie's Heights played out. I also like the scene where they have Jackson's flank attack at Chancellorsville. That was really cool. When against HMS Nelson, target its ammo magazine. It will be a fireworks show. Guns and Generals, no, there's nothing about the first Minnesota there. Did I give up on Strategic Command? Well, yeah, I gave up because I couldn't win, but I am going to play it again, Rayward. I'm gonna revisit that with what I've learned, and I think it'll have a different outcome. See, Captain Chaotic, how are you doing, sir? I assume you're a sir. I guess I shouldn't assume that. I default to guys on my channel because 97% of my viewers are male. All right, we got our six. So let's make sure we ready up. Niall, you're in. Rayward, I agree. I think anything multiplayer is fun. I wish I could do something besides for these streams, something besides just War Thunder and Risk, but they're free, so it makes it available to a lot of people. But I would love to find some other options. So Sniper Killer, you won, or oh, you blitzkrieg the entire map, and now everyone's losing. Okay, so where? Oh, I'm last. I am dead last. Awesome. And I'm also spread out all over the map too. It kicked you out, Niall. Oh no. You might still be able to get back into it. Oh, that's AI player, yep. Sad English noise as well, trying to find a new colony. Dylan, are you English? Are you, do you like, are you in the UK? If so, I'm curious to know where you are. If I were Lee, how would I have replaced Jackson? Wow. Um, Honestly, with the information Lee had, he made the right choice. It was logical for him to go with Ewell and Hill. There was no way that Lee could know that both of these outstanding division commanders in Ewell and Hill would be so inept as corps commanders. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Patriot. I know it's not history. I know it's loosely based on some history, but I like it. I mean, it's just like Gladiator is a fantastic movie. It's not exactly historically accurate, but based on real people. Essex, very cool. Well, I'm hoping as long as COVID clears up that I'm gonna be visiting your country next spring. Zach Mills, I have seen the Waco series. I thought it was really well done, and like any series like that, I immediately started digging in to do some research about things, um, and found that at least the official FBI records of what happened show it very different than how that series shows how things ended. The FBI says that they've got recordings of the Branch Davidians talking about dumping um, gasoline everywhere before the attack came in. So I don't think, I mean, at least according to the FBI, that's not how it happened. But I still thought it was a really good series. Great actors in that one. Okay, so I get those extra 3 for being dead last. Let's hope that this game goes a little smoother than the last one. You think I'm making my intentions clear with where I move those armies? Oh, of course the AI is going to put his armies in Africa. Niall, take care, man. Rough start, Nelson. Rough start. I don't know if you can even call that a rough start. That is like no start. Dang. A little different outcome for Schnitzel this time around, huh? Oh, Dylan, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Tora Tora Tora. One of the best, I think, one of the best World War II movies ever. I just watched Red Tails yesterday. A bunch of you were suggesting that one to me, and it was really good. Oh, the guy that plays David Koresh is in Lone Survivor. Interesting. I haven't seen that yet. Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg in it? I have to check that out. No, I don't think you can kick the AI. Pavel's setting himself up for a nice game this time around. Oh, Stonewall, I agree. Glory's one of my favorites as well. Rayward, I'll say this about Red Tails. I liked the story. Um, some of the acting, I was really surprised considering some of the big names that were in that. Some of the acting was rather subpar, especially some of the bomber pilots. Oh, it was cringeworthy a little bit for me on that. Oh, Aiden, Band of Brothers is my all-time favorite, absolutely. And yes, I've seen Battle of Britain. I liked Enemy at the Gates as well. I really enjoy that one a lot. Not a lot of good quality movies about the Eastern Front. Luciano, I did say Midway, and I think I liked it better than most people did. Dylan, I thought the guy at the end died from those 20 millimeter cannons to the chest. Rayward, no, that is not true. They, according to German records, the Tuskegees, they shot down 4 jets in that scene that you see at the end. The bombing raid on Berlin. The Tuskegee Airmen, the Red Tails claimed they shot down 11, but it was later reduced to 4 based on the German records that they found. But yeah, even the Germans acknowledged they shot down 4 Me-262s that day. All the pilots survived, but they did shoot them down. Aiden, you have people who can't say your name. Zach, oh boy, we've got Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu Live. Actually, we watch our TV on Hulu Live now. It's a lot cheaper than DirecTV, which is what we used to have. Yeah, Rob, I agree with you. And Rayward too. I think that's probably everybody's main legit complaint about the new Midway movie is the amount of anti-aircraft fire. Yeah, one of the reasons why I guess probably that I end up knowing so much about the historic background behind movies is anytime I watch a movie like that, I spend like the next 2 weeks reading everything I can about that historic event. So when I saw Braveheart, I spent a month just doing all the research I could on the Scottish Wars for Independence. Um, by the way, speaking of Scottish Wars of Independence, there's a new game out about that. And my friend Agrippa is supposed to be getting me a key for that game. And if you want to see a good historically accurate uh, portrayal of the Wars of Scottish Independence, check out Outlaw King on Netflix with Chris Pine playing Robert the Bruce. That shows you what actually happened, not the Braveheart version. Even though Braveheart's a phenomenal movie, and I'm not ripping it in any way. Zach, thank you. I will check it out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out Lone Survivor and see it. I'm sure even if it's not available without renting on a platform, I can certainly find it somewhere. We use Fire Sticks on both of our main TVs. Um, that's what we stream everything through. So yeah, Devonte, he took a lot of damage, and I think that was the same actor that actor was in the Lincoln movie. He's one of the 2 black soldiers that comes up and talks to Lincoln at the very beginning. And didn't he also play Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the movie Selma, which I haven't seen yet, but I think that's it. Um, but yeah, I guess Red Tails in a lot of ways is like the World War II fighter version of Glory. It has a similar storyline. We don't think that black soldiers can do the same job that white soldiers can. Okay, now we're going to give you a chance, and a bunch of you are going to die doing it. And kind of similar storyline and similar frustration. My daughter was watching it with me, and she got so angry at the way the black officers were treated. But it was important for her to see that and recognize that is true, even if it didn't necessarily happen historically that way in that moment. Second Kansas colored. Yep, that's the scene I'm thinking of, Devonte. I remember you and I talked about that before on a stream. Oh, Hanson, then you'll be able to watch Hamilton on Disney Plus. Hmm. Yeah, Dylan, there's amazing stories like that from every conflict. People who just do extraordinary things. Ah, who Soberfly's got reinforcements. It looks like he's going to take care of South America here. Um, Favorite restaurant? Ooh, if we're talking about chain restaurants that would be nationwide, huge fan of O'Charlie's. I don't know if you guys have those all over. We've got a lot of them around here. I love O'Charlie's. Love Chick-fil-A. Had Chick-fil-A for lunch today. I don't get it very often because we have two Chick-fil-A's in my area, and they're both like about 20-25 minutes away. Um, and I don't get to those areas very often. Nelson, F in the chat for Nelson. Ooh, Devontae, I'm not familiar with their story. I'm going to have to check that out. Luciano, yes. Greyhound. I have not seen it yet, and I know it's not necessarily an exact historic film about a real thing that happened. I think it's written by the same guy that did Horatio Hornblower, though. I thought somebody said that, but it looks really good. Dunkirk, yeah, Rayward. Dunkirk's a little slow. You're right. Ooh, nice. Didn't lose a man there. Yeah, Devonte. Interesting story about that with the 54th Massachusetts. Um, when Robert Gould Shaw, the commanding officer, was buried with his men in a mass grave, um, after the war, there was an offer to his family and the families of the other white officers to recover their bodies and give them a proper burial. And Shaw's father said no, he is exactly where he should be. He's exactly where he wanted to be with those men. And I thought that was a fitting tribute. Now, unfortunately, I believe that those graves have now disappeared. The area where the mass grave was has been washed out to sea because of erosion over time. Not 1917 is fantastic. I really wish we had more great World War One movies. It's such an underrated uh, opportunity for stories because we focus so much on World War II that we miss out on great stories that could be told about other conflicts. Hello, Hugh. How's it going? Hanson, yeah, I like movies other than war historical. I'm really into um, like crime dramas. My wife and I love watching like BBC crime dramas. Like Broadchurch was really, really good. What else have we seen recently that was good? The Dublin Murders was really good. Um, and we like stuff like that. We're watching Hannibal right now. I love The Tudors. What else? Oh, Ripper Street, fantastic. Um, so yeah, I like a lot of other things too. Pavel, yeah, that would be a good film. Something about the Serbian front. 13 Hours is really good too. Boy, who would ever thought that um, John Krasinski, who was so well known from The Office, would end up being such a great action star? But good for him. I'm a big fan of him too. I really like him as a person. I find that I tend to be drawn to movies with actors that I kind of find myself liking personally. So Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, for example, two of my favorite actors. And of course, they're both in Glory. Oh, I should have checked to see if I could turn in cards, and I could have. Oh boy, well that was a mistake on my part. Road 47, Luciano. I'll have to check that out. They Shall Not Grow Old was really good, Aiden. Um, it was cool how they colorized all that stuff. It really brought it to life. Hamilton's about Alexander Hamilton's life, the first Secretary of the Treasury, probably the most underrated of all of America's founding fathers. Definitely somebody that people don't know enough about. Hunt for Red October is fantastic, and as somebody who is old enough to remember the Cold War and to remember, I mean, it loses some of its power now because we don't have that tension between us and the Soviet Union that we had at that time. But yeah, I love Hunt for Red October. But yeah, Dylan, I would say probably Zach's right. Probably most people have seen that. It's really good. I know a lot of you guys are younger, so Apocalypse Now. Yep. Sorry, I'm eating an apple head. They're really good. Scottish Russian accent. Yep. Well, you can't expect Sean Connery to change his ways. Devontae, I agree. That's one of my favorite storylines. I really like the scene in Glory when Denzel Washington has his conversation. Trip, I think, is his character's name. Hanson, it is the name of a stupid musical. It's a musical about Alexander Hamilton. Um, but the scene where Trip, Denzel Washington's character, has a conversation with uh, Colonel Shaw where he turns down carrying the flag. I really like that scene a lot. Star Wars, the greatest historical series of all time. Crimson Tide, Devontae, yeah, I'm a big fan of that one too. Gene Hackman's another one of those actors that I absolutely love in pretty much anything he's in. All right, I've been paying so much attention to the chat that I'm not even paying attention to the situation here with the game, and I really should be. All right. Not really anywhere good for me to go. Except, yeah, let's do that. Oh, what was I thinking? Purple's got all this territory over here, too. This is what happens when I don't pay attention to what's happening in the game. I thought I was taking Purple out, and he had so much more territory than I thought. Real well. I guess I just opened the door for somebody else to do it. Oh, nice, Dylan. Thank you for that. The music in Crimson Tide, yeah, is good. Hey, if you already haven't done so, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate that. Man, this one, anybody could win. There's no real clear leader in this game. Zach, I agree. I love Matthew McConaughey as well. And Tom Hanks. One of the things I love about McConaughey is, you know how he got his first acting job? Somebody basically spotted him on the street and said, "Hey, that guy looks like he could be a good fit for this particular part we have. It wasn't like he grew up wanting to be an actor and had this worked really hard and went to theater and all this stuff. Somebody spotted him on the street. Pretty much is how it happened. Aiden, my first gaming console platform was the original Atari, way back in the early 1980s. My first PC was a Commodore 64 with 64K of RAM. That was before the internet was even a thing. Dylan, I am from Northeast Ohio. So it's a good Midwestern accent in the U.S. Or some people would say no accent at all. It's kind of the bland, old, boring, regular American accent, I guess. I've had good luck with cards so far, so that's been helpful for me. Well, this is interesting. Do I dare? I'm not sure if I dare or not. But yellow's getting awfully powerful. Green, you're going to have to go after him now that he's got Asia, or we're going to have trouble. Well, that went about as well as I could hope. Well, it just took me an extra turn, and I guess I got an extra card out of the deal. Sips tea while making sad noises. Dylan, I've actually prided myself lately on being able to decipher English accents. Now, I don't know how well I could do an Essex accent, but I can recognize West Midlands pretty good. I'm fairly good at a Yorkshire accent. London area I've got down pretty good. I can usually tell the difference between Edinburgh and Glasgow in Scotland in people's accents. I actually am better at UK accents than I am at American accents sometimes. Aiden, yeah, don't you know, you betcha. How? Yeah, that's Minnesota and the Dakotas for you. Oh, somebody busted into Asia on him, so he busted into Africa on me. That's fair. That's fair. Everybody's pretty even on this one right now, the four that are left. Oh, I can't do accents. I can just, when I hear an accent, I can tell what it is. I'm no good at actually doing accents. Yeah, Zach, I was about 150 miles from Yellowstone when I was in Wyoming, but I've never been there. I know, for example, the West Midlands in the UK, like Birmingham, they pronounce the consonants on the ends of words hard, kind of like Forrest Gump. So, you know how Forrest Gump said, "I was running," and how he says that, like that "g" on the end of the word running. That's what they do in Birmingham in the UK. They do stuff like that. And I read somewhere that the TV show Peaky Blinders, which is set in Birmingham, that there were some pretty big name actors who would have otherwise gotten a part in Peaky Blinders, but didn't because they couldn't master what they call the Brummie accent well enough. Yellowstone is a supervolcano, yes. My son was talking to me about that the other day. My son is just like me in that he loves to just randomly start reading stuff on Wikipedia and learning about useless knowledge. Um, and yeah, he was like, "Did you know that there's a super volcano under Yellowstone?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, no, Zach, not so much with S's. Tends to be with like T's and G's. Running, um, working, stuff like that. Yeah, Piggy Fuking Blinders. Yep, that's it, Luciano. I take it you've seen that show. I haven't finished. I'm in the middle of season 3 right now. What drew me to it was because my family, most of my immediate family who came from England, came from the Birmingham area. So, um, in fact, one of my ancestors, my fourth great grandfather, or fifth great grandfather, was a gun maker in Birmingham, and he made guns for Wellington's army that fought against Napoleon. I would love to get my hands on a gun that George Betts made if I ever could find one. I probably won't, but here comes Sober Fly. I better look out. He's going to be coming at me here. Maybe not. Looks like he's just building up and going to get a card. Yeah, red is strong. German in Sean Connery accent. That's awesome, Hugh. That would be interesting to hear. No cards this time. Man, red's going to become impossible to take. He's going to just get stronger and stronger every turn. We're going to all have to gang up on him if we're going to have any chance at all. Dylan, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. Zach, yes, sir, the old toll. Yeah, Stonewall, you're definitely screwed if it erupts. Actually, the whole North American continent's pretty much screwed if Yellowstone erupts, but especially 5 hours away. That's the one that erupts in the movie 2012. Waterloo, Connor, are you talking about the movie Waterloo? I think it's phenomenal. I think it's for that time especially, it was really super ambitious, and it's one of the best war movies ever made. Woo! Get at him. Get at him. Take that North American continent away from him. Do it. Do it. Yes. Well done, sir. Well done. Now he'll have to take it back. No, Zachary, I think Minnesota, if that thing erupts, Minnesota is definitely too close. Ah, now I can trade in. Mm, gotta do it. Don't gotta do it like that, though. Oh, brutal first roll. Ouch. I lost 4 right off the bat. 5. Oh, 5-1 I've lost so far. Gee, 7-1. This is not going well. 7-3 now. 8-4. All right, let's just do this. Oof. That was brutal. That did not go as well as I'd hoped. But he was about to get cards. I couldn't let him get cards and have those continents too. But now we open the door for Pavel. He's looking strong now. Stonewall, yeah, ash from Mount St. Helens, and Mount St. Helens eruption is actually my first memory of a historic event. I was 3 years old when that happened. I actually have somewhere. I have a little vial of ash from Mount St. Helens. So here's a did you know? You guys are talking about Indians and um, things like that. Maybe I'll have to do a thing on this sometime. Did you guys know that the Secretary of War during Grant's administration was running this scandal where he was funneling the best weapons to the Indians, like the Sioux, and giving the defective ones um, the less effective ones to the cavalry troops. So one of the things that played a role in Custer's defeat was the fact that the U.S. government itself supplied better weapons to Custer's enemy than it did to Custer. And there was a big scandal that happened. There were a number of scandals during Grant's administration, but that was one of them. They eventually impeached that Secretary of War, and he ended up resigning the day he was impeached. But yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. I just learned that actually because I was finishing up the Grant documentary by Ron Chernow, and they talked about that in the documentary. I never had heard that before. Oh wow, Aiden, was she near to Mount St. Helens when that happened? Julie got a new measuring tape, all as well. Yes, the Grant administration was very corrupt. Grant himself was not. Grant's problem was he was way too trusting of people in his administration, and they took advantage of that. Favorite American and British historical regiment. Huge fan of 54th Massachusetts. Um, I tend to my favorite historic regiments tend to be the ones that my ancestors fought in. Um, so the 20th Ohio was a family regiment for me. The 22nd and 40th Kentucky Mounted Infantries. I had a number of ancestors in each of those regiments. Yeah, Hendricks, that guy should have been hanged. You're absolutely right. I forget his name. I'll tell you in a minute. So it was William Belknap was his name. He had been uh, a Union general. If anybody should have known better, it was that guy. Yeah, here it is. Army requisitions for rifles were filled by Belknap's War Department with inferior single shot breech loaders that jammed frequently and were no match for superior breech loaders and repeating rifles. The policy had a negative effect on the firepower of the U.S. troops and may have contributed to the defeat of George Armstrong Custer and the 7th Cavalry at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Oh man, I've been having some good luck with cards lately. All right, who's the person I need to worry about here the most? Green, of course. Um, Yeah, Pavel, you're looking pretty tough, man. One of my one of my favorite moments. Not that I had a lot of favorite moments from 9/11, but for me, what was memorable for 9/11 for me was I think it was a couple of days after 9/11, or maybe the day after, and you can still find this video on YouTube somewhere. When they were doing the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, um, the band played the Star Spangled Banner, which was such an incredibly powerful moment for me. Um, Thinking about, remember this, the Star Spangled Banner was written during a battle between the British and the Americans, and for our friends, the Brits, to play that song, and then they played it again at Westminster Abbey a few days later when they did a memorial service, and it was just so cool. It was such an amazing moment. What would have happened to the natives if they had lost the Battle of Little Bighorn? I think probably pretty much the same thing that happened to them having won the Battle of the Little Bighorn. I don't think it really changed anything at all. If anything, it probably hastened it. Any significant events that happened in, well, I don't know if 26 August of 2004, but I think around that time in 2004 was when Hurricane Katrina hit the U.S., but I think that was earlier in the year. Zach, no. Most of the Confederates were pardoned for the Civil War, and in fact, I don't know if people know this now, but um, the U.S. government treats Confederate soldiers as American veterans. Um, so, if I have a Confederate ancestor, and I have a few, um, they are legally considered U.S. veterans, and so I could apply to the Veterans Administration to get a Confederate marker on a grave, for example. Well, Hanson, there was another building that collapsed. I don't know if it was World Trade Center 7 or 8, one of them that collapsed later that afternoon. There were several other buildings that ended up being destroyed, but I remember specifically there was one that collapsed that afternoon, from the damage that was caused by the others. I don't think I'm in a position to win this one. I'm just caught between too many other powerful armies. And look at Pavel with his 64 men there. Yes, Connor, I do remember that when they started chanting USA. I think you can see that on video too. Another cool moment, I think ESPN did something on this, was when President Bush at the time went out and threw out the first pitch during the World Series in New York City. And dude just threw an absolute perfect strike. It was really cool, and it was such a great moment all around. Of course, he had been, him and his dad, the first President Bush, played baseball at Yale. President Bush, 43, had owned the Texas, been one of the owners of the Texas Rangers. All right, let's see here. This is tough. I'm not really in any good positions here at all. Yeah, Pavel's green. Yes, Devontae, you're right about Avatar. Oh yeah, the Thailand tsunami was that year too. Stonewall, Hank Hill is your father. You mean like the guy from the animated series? I forget what it's called. Pavel has a death stack, but it doesn't do him any good if he just sits there with it. What's for dinner? I don't know. I think we're ordering out tonight. My sister-in-law and her daughter and my mother-in-law are all coming over, and I think we're ordering out. So I don't have to cook tonight. So I think Red and I are just going to keep taking over territories in South America to earn cards for a while. Yeah, Pablo, you're going to have to make a move at some point. You can't just sit there with those armies forever, I don't think. Everybody's just loading up on armies. Look at this, 70 for red, 88 for green. Dylan, unfortunately, I've never been to a race. I'd love to go to a NASCAR race someday, but I've never had the chance. I was a real big fan of Mark Martin when he drove in NASCAR, but since he retired, I really haven't kind of picked up another one. Zach, no pets. My kids would love to have a pet, but because I travel so much and because we're very busy, my son's involved in so many different sports. My daughter's involved in theater. My wife and I both work full time. It doesn't really allow for, I think it would be unfair to a pet for us to have one as much as we would like to. Yeah, Devontae, that sounds about right. Bush had a lot of those Bushisms or moments where he said things that didn't make a lot of sense. I've had good luck with cards, but it seems like that luck has ended for now. Okay, where do I want to go? Well, Julie, I don't really have any experience with escaping the cops. A meme ship stream. Ooh, that might have to be something we do sometime. All right, somebody's gonna have to make a big move here pretty soon. I think Pavel might be thinking about it. I gotta check my cards. Brutal. Brutal on the cards. This may go on forever if somebody doesn't make a big move. Go right there. Go right there and get your cards in Iceland. What was that about? 15 right there? I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense. Load it up. Should have loaded up right there. Take Iceland and then back out. You strip yellow of a territory. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll be the one to make the big move. Zach, you're so old. Oh, Sniper Killer. That's an interesting idea on the meme ship. I like that. '91. What are you going to do with 91 armies back there? Pablo, you got to start getting a little more aggressive, my friend. Zachary, you're only 11? I didn't realize that. You're younger than my son. Sometimes I forget how young a lot of the audience on this channel is, which is it's awesome. I'm glad that you guys are here, but I have to remember that when I'm talking to you guys that a lot of things that I remember in history, you guys don't. You know, high school kids don't remember 9/11 firsthand. You learn about it in school, which is just blows my mind sometimes. Boomers, I'm going to be 14 in half a year. Nice. My son will be 13 in November. My daughter is 15, and my other son will be 8 in a couple weeks. Actually, my birthday's coming up in 2 weeks. I'll be 43 this year on August 5th. Okay, yellow's got 96 now. My goodness. That's crazy. "21, 14, 14. Nelson, you're only 14. How did I not know this? Man, what am I going to do without you guys when school starts for everybody? Old fart noises. Zachary, that's awesome that at 11 you know so much about history. That's very cool. Devontae, I have like 4 hairs on my chest, so even if you're old doesn't mean you have any hairs on your chest. Pablo's boomer confirmed. Zach, my son Caleb's birthday is November 20th, actually. All of my kids were born around holidays. My daughter was born on July 3rd. My son, my middle child, my son Caleb, was born 2 days before Thanksgiving here in the U.S., and my youngest was born Labor Day weekend. Yeah, there's a couple movies about 9/11. There's World Trade Center. There's Flight 93, which Flight 93 was hijacked right over my house, actually, here in Northeast Ohio before they turned around and started headed toward Washington, D.C. Oh. I still can't turn in cards. Devontae, I don't mind at all. Kids watch videos. That's cool. Yeah, Zachary, I when school starts, that's what I'll have to do. You know, I try to stream at times that work for the most people. Um, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday doesn't necessarily work for the folks who work a lot here in the U.S., but I know it works for folks in Europe, for example. Oh, Nelson, you're in homeschool for the first semester? My kids are going back. They're going back 5 days a week, full time at the end of August. They've got shields around all the desks. They're going to have to wear masks in the hallway and on the bus. But yeah. Julie, that's the same law here in America. 16 is the age of consent if you're talking about sex. I think it's different in every state, but here in Ohio, it's 16. Not sure how that came up, but yeah. Gary Romano, what's up? How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. We're finishing this one up, and obviously green and yellow are just going to dominate. I don't know what's going on here. There's some kind of a truce. Yeah, I'm thinking yellow and red have to be in a truce given what's going on up there. All right, Pavel, I'm going to help you out here, buddy. It's time to go Leroy Jenkins. Ooh, that went better than expected. Odds are against me on this one. 23% chance to win. Nope, didn't happen. Yeah, Zachary, there's a lot of folks that are doing that way. There's some schools here in Ohio that are doing it that way too, with like everybody going kind of half the time. Zachary, no, it did not. Just be thankful that Ultimate General Civil War doesn't have a multiplayer. Zachary, we have an AC 130 base right near where I live, the Youngstown Warren Air Base, like 20 minutes from my house. Zach is right about that. Don't be in any hurry for a relationship. Unfortunately, it happens to all of us. Yeah, I can't imagine why, Rob H, why that would be a problem. But yeah, I can see that. My wife's fall courses for her master's degree are all switched over to online as well. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work for me with my job because what I do for a living, especially in the fall, is I travel around and do assemblies to packed rooms of teenagers. So that's obviously not going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with all of that. We do have some events on the schedule, but only about a third as many as we normally do. I think Pavel's going to have to just go nuts on somebody here before too long. Oh, red's starting to build up again. Pavel could take out anybody he wants right now, except maybe Red. What's my favorite military plane? Somebody asked me this yesterday. Um, I think I'm a big fan of the Hurricanes. I like B-17s because my wife's grandfather was on one, and he's one of the coolest guys I've ever known. Yeah, I'd say probably those ones. No, Zachary, we do events for all ages. I speak to kindergarten through college age, so we have events for everybody. Um, since these guys are trucing it up, that's why I have to keep attacking here. Because their truce is what cost me, because they were both going after me and not going after each other. All right, Pavel, I'm giving you an opening here, buddy. You got to step through it. You got to do more than just park 76 guys in one spot, or this game's going to go all day. There you go. The PBY Catalina. I shot one of those down earlier in War Thunder. I think that was the one. I know it was a PBY. Swordfish, Rob H. Isn't that the one that doomed the Bismarck by hitting it with a torpedo? Zachary, it's not really up to me. I don't do the scheduling. I just go where they tell me to. But our folks at Rachel's Challenge could certainly, hopefully, try to get an event there at St. Charles, in Minnesota. I've done a few events in Minnesota. Pavel, you could completely take out yellow here and get his 5 cards if you want. It would not be difficult. You go right up through here and then just go through all of Europe. And you would still have a ton of armies you could fortify right back to there. And you would end up with 5 cards, and you've already got 5 cards. Actually, Pavel could probably win the game on this turn if he wanted to. But easily get those 5 cards from yellow if you just march right through Europe like this. All right, Dylan, do your thing. This should be over before too long. Pavel's I can't believe Pavel did not. He's going to spend his 5 cards now, dude. See, oh, what a missed opportunity. You could have had those 5 cards. Easily. When I went to West Point Cemetery, no, Grant's buried in New York City in Manhattan. Um, McClellan, I don't know where he's buried, but I would guess probably New Jersey. Burnside, probably Rhode Island, I would guess. No, actually, Burnside might be at Arlington. I'm not sure. But no, prominent graves at West Point. You've got Westmoreland, who was the commander at during the Vietnam War. Norman Schwarzkopf, who was the U.S. commander during the Desert Storm, the first Iraq War. Um, see, now red's going to get yellow, but there's only 3 cards now instead of 5. That was your chance, Pavel. Oh man. Oh wow. What did red just do? Oh, he attacked green. Wow. That was insanity. Vice Admiral Perry, we won't be doing another one today, but when we do, you'll see at the beginning of the stream, there's a code down at the bottom that shows you how to get in. Zach, I have been to Arlington quite a few times. So red just sacrificed himself to give yellow a chance to win. Pavel, that shouldn't have been an issue, man. You should have had yellow taken out. This should be over by now. Man. Hate to see missed opportunities like that. Especially when I even told you what you could do and you didn't do it. Yeah, Hugh, actually, I know that my wife's grandfather was stationed in Kimbolton, England, is where he was in a heavy bomber group, the B-17s. I'm trying to remember what bomber group it was. I'll tell you in a second. 379th is the bomb group he was in. He was a tail gunner on a B-17. No, Hanson, I've never been to an air show, but I'd love to go to one someday. We will do these risk streams at least once a week. Probably not more often than that, but try to do one a week. Yeah, Vice Admiral Perry, definitely. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little notification button, and then you'll get the notification as soon as we go live with the stream. We usually have a few minutes once the stream starts before we get. Sometimes it takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes to get enough for a full game. So. Man. I feel so bad that Pavel's in this position where he might not win now, but the chances were there. Could have taken yellow out. And now yellow is going to get too strong. He's going to take my cards. 4 cards, dude. Oh, yellow's going to win this. Pavel, that's all on you. He should have never been able to win this game. Ooh, I got an achievement for that one. Let's keep watching. I think yellow's got this one now, though. Astros up 8-3 because they kept getting easy runs from getting hit by pitches. Ooh, Octavius. Interesting question. Honestly, it depends on your play style. Really, you just cater your skills to your style of play. So if you want a small army with veteran units, then you might want to put your skills into veteran units costing less. If you'd rather have a big army with a lot of like low skill units, then maybe you want to go after funds first. I typically put, and you always have to make sure that you've got enough points for the size army you need. So if you're not, if you're finding yourself with leftover money and troops because you can't get enough units into the field, then maybe you need to spend your points on army organization. But I tend to go early on, focusing on getting as much money up front as I can so I can buy the better weapons. That's just me personally, but it really just depends on your play style. Zach, take care, man. Yeah, yellow's got 5 cards. Be interesting to see what happens here. Yeah, green he needed to blitz a long time ago. Hey, today's the anniversary of the first Battle of Bull Run, so I think I'll probably have to upload to my other channel the video I did from the Bull Run battlefield. Maybe I'll make that one live here in a little bit. Oh, that was smart to stop there, because if he had gone one more, then he would have put himself next to this unit here. Octavius, yes, that's what makes it a great strategy game, is that you have to make those choices. But that's why I say it depends on your play style, because you can win different ways, and that's part of why I did like the no infantry campaign challenge, was to show you could win different ways by focusing on different things. So really, just I would say spend the points on what works for your play style. There you go. Get Europe. Nice. Yeah, Captain Reed, those 4 recon points are nice, because then you can see what the enemy army's build looks like, or at least how many men and guns he's got. Caleb, my family is well. I hope you and yours are as well. Great name, by the way. I'm sure I've said that to you before, but green, Pavel, I'm just going to tell you this right now. You got to finish off red if you can. If you can trade in cards, finish off red on this turn. Get his 3 cards. That might be enough to turn the tide for you. Zachary, I don't think the Union winning Fort Sumter would have changed anything. It really wasn't going to do much for the Union at that point, and they got it back later in the war anyway. Yeah, Pavel, you can't win if you stay parked in Siam and let him run roughshod over the rest of the board. You've got to move those guys out, even if you just divide it in half on these two territories. You got to give yourself a place to jump off and attack. Yeah, if he can turn in cards, Pavel's got to take red out this turn. If he can't turn in cards, he probably doesn't have enough to do it. The problem is by staying parked here, he's allowing yellow to take the rest of the board and get all those reinforcements. 2 reinforcements per turn for Australia is not enough to win at this stage of the game. I think yellow is eventually going to be too powerful for him if he just stays parked there. He's just played way too conservatively. You can't be conservative. That's why it's called risk. Can't be conservative in this game. Not that conservative. It works for you early in the game, but look at that, 16. That's it. I mean, at this point, I think yellow can finish green off. If I were yellow, I would load up right here and here and take out, yep. Pavel, you had your chance, buddy. Julie, it's long and boring because nobody's been aggressive. You have to be aggressive and take risks, and nobody's done that. And they're still not being aggressive. Dude, march down and take Australia from him. What are you doing up there? Go down and take his continent. How we ended up with these people as our final 3, I will never know. So many missed opportunities. And that was a missed opportunity for yellow there. Why he didn't go down now. Now red's going to do it. He's going to go down and take Australia. Pavel, you're done, buddy. Gotta be aggressive. Yellow should have been taken out like 6 turns ago. Do you not have cards? Must not have cards you can turn in. There it is. Oh, now he's stuck. The Bernard Montgomery approach to risk. It's just a matter of time. Yellow's got this. He's just got to consolidate his forces. McClellan approach, yeah, that too. Depending on which war you're looking at. Yeah, this one belongs to yellow. Probably take 1 or 2 more turns for him to finish it off. Yeah, Rob, that's about right too. He's finally going to take out red and get his cards. Oh, no, he can't. He can't take out red. Pavel, all you did was open it up for him to take red. Oh, at least he's going to get all of his continents. Now up. There you go. He's still got 86 armies, though. And he's going to get red's 3 cards. I'm not sure he can win it on this turn. But there's a good chance that yellow, if he does this right, yellow could win on this turn right here. Red's lifespan was only possible because he was in on it with yellow. And so yellow didn't go after him until he had to. So now he can go get red's 3 cards, which he will immediately be able to turn in because he'll have more than 5. But if he doesn't hurry up, he's not going to be able to win this turn. Yep, now go up, then over here. Then attack there, but don't send your whole army there. Just send the minimum. You didn't really send your whole 51 there, did you? No, he didn't. Okay. Now he's got to turn in cards. He ought to be able to win this, but he's going to have to go fast. No, what are you going down for? No, now you can't win. Well, I guess he could if he brings these 9 around. Hurry, hurry. He's going to have to make sure he gets... Oh, he left 6. Okay, he's good there. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how... Nelson, you're right. The last 2 streams have been plagued by alliances that kind of ruin the game. I don't know how we deal with that, though, because it's not like I can... I mean, I guess I can kick people for making alliances. But I don't know. You're right, though. We have to work on that. But good game, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you again soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any announcements about streams or upcoming content. I don't have time for another one. I'm sorry, guys. You guys can keep playing if you want. We have a Risk page over on Discord, and I know Nelson and others are always organizing matches, so go ahead and continue that on there if you want. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.